3, 2, 1. Yeah, let it play. What's up, everybody? This is the Welcome to the Show podcast. I'm Manny Gomez. L.A., what's good?
Ooh, L.A. Yeah, I'm L.A. now, but I'm also CT. Don't forget. Maybe I have a conspiracy theory here in my pocket. I don't know.
L.A., a.k.a. CT, a.k.a. Hollywood. What's the rest of it? A.k.a.
Man, let's just get into it.
All right, L.A. I'm going to call you L.A. It's not natural for me, but it will be eventually. I don't care.
I'm used to it, man. I got a bunch of nicknames, so.
That's a good thing, man. Man of mystery. All right, so today, L.A. and I are going to talk about this cold-ass hot stove season. So get ready for that. And then we're going to discuss some comments that Madison Bumgarner made recently. So let's start it off. CT, how would you gauge this hot stove season? What temperature would you give it?
I give this hot stove season, if it was a real stove, it wouldn't be on right now, man. How about that?
I know, man. So the thing is that it feels like a lot of moves have happened, but not the big one yet. Like I'm not sure. I think last year JD Martinez hadn't been signed yet either, but JD Martinez is also older than the two guys that are available, that are superstars and aren't being signed. Manny Machado and Bryce Harper, both 26 years old. I don't understand why no team has made like a real offer. It seems like right now teams are just lowballing. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and I remember JD Martinez not being signed till late in the free agent season, whatever. But he's also just a DH. Bryce Harper and Machado. Machado's elite on both sides of the ball, right? And Bryce Harper he plays his position just as good as Aaron Judge does. Aaron Judge is more physically gifted, but he plays his position just as well. So when JD Martinez wasn't signed last season, I understood why, if he was holding out for more money, they could kind of lowball him, right? But could you imagine if guys like Machado and Harper were free agents in another sport? A week wouldn't go by, I think, before they're signed. It's
insane. Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, they're gonna get their money. There's no question about it. I can't imagine that the season is gonna start and one of these two guys isn't gonna have a team. I think it's gonna happen. It's just a matter of time. But that it's taken this long is absurd. And it's just another sign that Major League Baseball is broken right now. As much as I love the game, it's broken. And it connects to something else that happened with Kyler Murray, the two-sport athlete who signed with the Oakland Athletics last year after the June amateur draft. He got almost $5 million from the A's. And then he played one more season of college football, won the Heisman Trophy, and now he's projected to go in the first round in the draft. And he decided he's going to play football, not baseball. So, do you blame him for that, or what's your take on Kyler Murray?
I think I don't blame him. Why I can't blame him for that. I mean, do what he wants. I gotta be honest. Being a young stud in football is more appealing than maybe not getting to the majors after 3-4 years removed from college. He's a first rounder, but we don't know what his minor league. He's gonna be playing against the best competition up until that point in his life, and it might not even be the major league level. It's gonna be the minor league level. So in football, he's in the first round. He's starting next season automatically. He's already getting plugged into America's best show, biggest stage is what I meant to say.
Yeah, and I wrote a piece for Call to the Pen, and I started to look at what do quarterbacks get in the first round. I only did 1 year. I looked at last season, and there were 5 quarterbacks who were taken in the first round last year, and each and every one of them made more money than he's gonna make with the Oakland A's. And with the Oakland A's, he's gonna go through the minor league system. He's gonna have to play Class A ball, move up to AA, move up to AAA, and then make it to the big leagues. Like, look at a guy like Aaron Judge. He didn't make it officially to the major leagues until he was, 25, 26 years old. You know, by the time he's a free agent, he's going to be 31. And given the situation with Bryce Harper and Manny Machado, how these guys aren't getting signed, is he going to get the big money when he's 31 years old? You know what I'm saying? It's just, why would you choose Major League Baseball if you're a two-sport athlete? You wouldn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and Aaron Judge is a guy who probably could have gone to any sport and been drafted, or I don't know, but
well, yeah, he was a two-sport athlete too, and
Yeah.
the crazy thing is that he was drafted by the A's first too. He was drafted by the A's out of high school. He turned it down and went to college for 4 years and was drafted by the New York Yankees. But he was also a two-sport athlete. He happens to love baseball, thank God, and you know, what are you gonna do? You know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense. It's no surprise that Major League Baseball has the hardest time finding athletes to, you know, make the face of the game. And Bryce Harper is one of those guys who's embracing that role. And it's a shame that they're not, you know, trying to offer him something to make him the face of baseball. And even Manny Machado, even though Manny Machado was a troublemaker last year, like you said, he's elite on both sides of the ball, man. You know what I mean? Like, give these guys give them their money, man. These teams make way too much money to not pay these players.
yeah, when Aaron Judge hits free agency, I hope it doesn't get ugly. He deserves it. Like, I feel like, and like you said, yeah, make these guys the face of baseball. Get the buzz going. Give them the ridiculous contract and make people hate on it. That stuff is gonna generate a lot of traffic. I don't know. I'm a player
Exactly.
guy. I'm a player guy myself. I'm pretty sure MLB owners are making way more money than ever because it's gotten more popular because of guys like Bryce Harper and Machado and Aaron Judge and everything. So I agree, man. Give them the money and or renegotiate that whole luxury tax thing, because do you think that if the luxury tax wasn't in place, they would still be getting these ridiculous contracts?
I think that the luxury tax plays a role, but there was a time when the New York Yankees were paying the luxury tax every single year. And the more you pay the luxury tax, the more you pay in taxes. So I think that some of these teams have so much money that it doesn't affect them in any way, shape, or form. Like for the Yankees not to offer Manny Machado, if they really want him, not to offer him $30 million a year for however many years he wants is crazy. I don't think they should give him that personally, but if I'm looking at it through someone else's perspective or Manny Machado's perspective or from the player's perspective, I'd be like, well, what the hell is going on here? Because it's they're worth just as much as the Dallas Cowboys, and they're a Major League Baseball team.
Yeah,
they have the money. I don't know. It's also that some teams aren't spending any money. Like you had the Houston Astros before they built this powerhouse, literally tanked, and we're losing 100 games a season for 3 straight years, paying nothing. And that's also not right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know how we're going to fix this. I think in some ways too, and I'm an analytics guy, I like data and analytics in terms of baseball. I think that hurts as well because some of these teams are too smart and they're saying to themselves, why pay for Bryce Harper, who I'm going to have to give $30-35 million a year, and he's a subpar right fielder defensively. He's a great hitter, patient hitter, but I can go out and get myself, and by the same token, like you said, the Yankees are paying Aaron Judge $600,000. You know what I mean? So they're saying to themselves, let me go out there and find myself a young kid who's going to reproduce what Bryce Harper can reproduce and pay him less money. I think the thing is, the difference between getting a prospect and a Bryce Harper is that Bryce Harper comes with a name, and Bryce Harper is going to put asses in the stadium, and he's going to put eyeballs in front of the TV. So in essence, he's going to pay for himself. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And like again, what's my incentive as a young kid wanting to play baseball? They don't even market the game the way they should. So what's my incentive? Yeah, I know it's guaranteed money compared to sports like football, but
right.
How hard is it to get to a Bryce Harper level or a Manny Machado level? Not everyone gets this opportunity to hit the free agency market at the prime of their career, age-wise,
right.
Have this popularity. So again, like, it's super hard. Like, you got guys like, look at Jose Ramirez in Cleveland. I don't really consider him like a marketable player. Francisco Lindor is way more marketable than Jose Ramirez. I don't know if it's because he always has a wad of tobacco in his mouth. And Francisco Lindor wears like the cool socks and everything. And I don't know, man. But That's what I mean about baseball. Like in any, I feel like in basketball and football, you're a good player. You're already marketable. You can already pretty much do anything you want in that league.
Yeah.
You're gonna get the praise from everybody, but it's not the same in baseball. So I agree.
Yeah, I mean, Baker Mayfield, he's like a household name already. You know what I mean? Yeah. Sam Darnold, he's already a household name.
Exactly.
You know, Kyler Murray is going to be a household name for a week. Then he's going to be thrown in the minor league system, and you're not going to hear about him for another 4 years unless he's really, 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 really good. Like Bryce Harper, Manny Machado were called up before they were 20 years old. But that's the exception. That's not the rule. Most players, it takes way longer than that. So I don't know, man. Baseball there's something has to be done about this situation because, and the thing is, they're also in a tough place because when the average person hears Manny Machado and Bryce Harper want $40 million, they say to themselves, I'm a teacher, I'm a fireman, I'm a cop. I don't make that kind of money. Why should they? That's not the point. The point is that these owners are raking in profits and they're making their money because of these players' performance. We go to the stadium to watch the players, not to watch the owners.
Exactly.
So pay these guys. You know what I mean? And these guys are once-in-a-lifetime talents. I can't do what Bryce Harper can do. I can't do what Manny Machado can do. So, you know, their worth is higher than mine is in terms of baseball. You know what I mean?
And if people disagree with like the money that they make, yeah, it's ridiculous. I get it. It's only gonna get worse because it's more popular. Do we generate that much income with just, you know, does our talent generate that much revenue? No. They're making these guys rich. They should get more of the pie, right? We're not stupid. We know that they're millionaires. You know, it's like, yeah, we get it.
We're not crying poor. These guys, they're not poor.
Yeah.
But
I also find it crazy.
Like when I was a teacher, I didn't have an audience pay money to come watch me teach. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. They're for our entertainment. We pay, musicians get paid a lot. I'll go to a musician that I like. I'll go to his concert a million times. He's not doing anything new. We're talking about these guys like careers. And baseball's amazing, by the way. If you're not a baseball fan and you're listening to us, I don't know why, because we're a baseball podcast, but it's been going on for more than 100 years, so it's pretty cool when people get compared to other players. And that brings me to another thing. I feel like baseball is one of those sports, unlike basketball, where you could, you know, what you're seeing is like the product of what's really of what that player is. It's not like a stat pad or anything.
Yeah. There's a lot that needs to be fixed, and I don't know. I think if I remember correctly, I don't have the information in front of me right now, but I believe the ratings went down for baseball last year, even though revenue went up. But that's because baseball's getting into partnerships with Fox and ESPN and Disney, and they generate a lot of revenue that way. But in terms of people watching TV, I believe the last time I checked, Major League Baseball is officially the number 3 sport in the United States of America. And it used to be the number 1 sport, and then after football took over, it was a close number 2 to football. Now we're behind the NBA, and it's because baseball's not good at marketing itself. And and they're not helping themselves with stuff like this. You know, when you hear that Kyler Murray wants to play football instead of baseball, I feel like that hurts the game. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason why he doesn't want to play baseball.
Yeah. By the way, we were talking about Aaron Judge before, and I know this is off topic, but are you a little bit shocked that do you consider Aaron Judge one of the better players in the major leagues, like top 10?
Of course, yeah.
Are you?
I do. Yeah.
He's kind of one of a kind too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you kind of shocked that we haven't seen like a Aaron Judge comparison from the minors or like college, where they're kind of like, yeah, you know, this guy has Aaron Judge tendencies, but the only tendencies they share is like they're both massive. Are you kind of surprised you haven't seen that yet? Because I feel like for every player that's the next big thing, you know, you're soon to just see all these comparisons and getting drafted, getting looked at and everything. I don't know. That was just a random thought.
Everybody gets compared. And the thing with Kyler Murray is that, and I know you probably weren't trying to make a point about Kyler Murray, but the thing about Kyler Murray is that he's short in stature, and it makes him attractive in both leagues now, because in baseball, they used to say that short guys don't really pan out. But you have Jose Altuve, Dustin Pedroia, you know what I mean? Putting these guys on the map, for lack of a better term. And in the NFL, they used to say that Russell Westbrook was going to be a bust, and look at him. You know what I mean? He made what, 2 straight Super Bowls, or was it 3? I don't remember.
You know what? Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I have nothing to say.
Oh, I was gonna say I think we all know baseball's on TV more boring than football, like on any given Sunday, right? Like football.
There's a lot more dead time.
Yeah. I think it's up to baseball to make sure that whenever they have a guy like Kyler Murray, just do everything in your power to make it work. Give him a ridiculous contract, pay him like a bunch of money, and just get him on a baseball field.
Just get him on the field, man. Like the Oakland A's have nothing to lose by putting Kyler Murray up on the field, man. Yeah. Nothing to lose.
Or these guys that are two-way players, just give them to a team like the Marlins and fast track them to the major leagues. I know it's gonna suck for people that are in the major leagues, in the minor league system for years and are probably better than Kyler Murray, but fast track him fast track him while he's still a star player, because rookies get at least 3 years in the NFL.
Yeah,
fast track him in those first 3 years to get some MLB time so that people will tune in. Like that's a good way to start, get the buzz going.
I agree, and this leads me to something off topic before we move into the second topic. I don't know if you watched that video that Alex Bregman put out on YouTube where he had Alex Rodriguez, and there was a bunch of guys from other teams around. Did you watch that video by any chance?
I did not. It's on my list.
Okay, well, A-Rod had a genius idea, and I love A-Rod. I don't want to talk shit about A-Rod, but a lot of times I feel like, dude, just be yourself. He was himself.
Choose your words carefully, please.
He was himself in that video, and he also kind of showed that it's not just that he has a bunch of money in his pockets. He has good ideas. One of his ideas was that when people watch TV and they want to watch baseball, they don't, I'm going to use the Yankees as an example. They don't want to watch Ronald Torreyes, go 1 for 3 or 0 for 4 in a game. They want to watch Aaron Judge's at bat. Like I could be doing work for the podcast or reading something or watching my kids, but if Aaron Judge is at bat, I make sure I stop what I'm doing because I want to watch what he's doing, right? Yeah. So he had an idea where it's similar to like a NFL red zone where they show whenever a team's on a red zone, that's when they'll put like that channel. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. So they should have a channel where it's going to show, like, anytime Bryce Harper's at bat or he's about to come up, you're going to show his at bat. Or anytime Manny Machado or Aaron Judge or Mookie Betts or JD Martinez, you show that at bat. So that's one idea. The other idea was to have it on an app that you're going to watch these guys' batting practices. Like, it'll be timed for you. Like, tomorrow at 5 o'clock, Aaron Judge, 10 minutes of BP. And people will tune in and watch that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Make it more marketable. Make it more about the player. The thing about baseball is, and it's why I love baseball, is that it's about the team in baseball. It's not necessarily about an individual player. Mm-hmm. But if we want to be realistic about the game and we want the game to grow, the way it's going to happen is if you start marketing these players and kind of make it like a WWE type thing. You know what I mean? Like, stir up some drama. You know what I mean? Like, the Red Sox and the Yankees can't be friendly. They have to hate each other. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Even if behind the scenes they don't, just for show, fuck it. You know what I mean? That's the only way it's going to work, I think.
Yeah, that's why I feel like the NBA does. The NBA makes me cringe every time I get an update on Bleacher Report.
Yeah.
It's like LeBron wore green today. Could he be going to the Celtics? No. It's like, but they just give it to you. They just keep hitting you with that content. Baseball people, they don't really mess around with the unnecessary things, but you're right. Maybe that's what we have to start doing because there's someone out there that's going to like the story, like
teams have way too much control in with Major League Baseball players. Like, you'll see a Major League Baseball player's social media activity is a lot different than in other sports. Like, you'll know what OBJ is doing, Odell Beckham, because he's on social media nonstop. Same thing with LeBron James, but you don't see. I'm gonna keep using these guys because they're at the top of my head. Bryce Harper or Manny Machado, especially Manny Machado. He's not on social media that often. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
These guys have to get on there. Show me what you're gonna do before a game. Show me your workouts. What's going on in the clubhouse? Just do it, man. Yeah, get the fans in there. Get them in the game with you.
Yeah, put that in their contract. They have to at least get somebody they can hire somebody to run their social media for them, or something.
Yep.
Like, you ever notice you don't even see these guys at like NBA games, except for Trout. Like, you see Trout at a Philly Eagles game, maybe. That's Trout. You're talking about the best baseball player in the game. The least they could do is show him at a Phillies game, but
exactly. Or Aaron Judge at a Knicks game or something, man.
Yeah, man.
Have some personality. But I noticed from doing this podcast that the hardest people to get to are Major League Baseball players. They don't talk. Yeah. And if you listen to a lot of sports radio, I listen to the Michael K show a lot. We talk about that show a lot on the show,
show.
so get used to that. He'll tell you flat out the New York Mets don't let us talk to anybody on their team. You know what I mean? Like,
it's crazy.
But that's insane, man. Like, that's not good. That's not good for the sport. Maybe that's why Citi Field is always empty.
It's not just the Michael K show. It's the fan too. The WFAN. I'm like,
yeah.
I think baseball is the only sport someone will listen to on the radio. It's pretty exciting to listen to a baseball game on the radio.
I like it on the radio.
And you've removed the Mets connection to that community, you know, like,
entirely.
It's crazy.
And that station is starving for the Mets, man.
Oh my God,
they're starving for the Mets.
There's nothing but Met fans out there. What do Yankee fans have to complain about? Except, you know, maybe
I don't know,
nitpicking at certain things. But everybody that calls on that show is a Mets fan complaining about something. So sorry for you Mets fans. You guys are gonna have another terrible season.
That's another thing you guys have to get used to on this show. We beat up the Mets pretty bad.
Oh, yeah.
All right, CT. Let's move on to the second topic. So earlier this week, actually at the end of last week, it was reported that Madison Bumgarner texted Bruce Bochy during the winter meetings after their president of baseball operations, the new guy from the Dodgers, Farhan Zaidi, I think you say his name. He had said that he was open to using an opener. And Madison Bumgarner allegedly texted Bruce Bochy and said that if an opener is used in one of his starts, he's going to walk out of the ballpark. I know what your take is going to be, but I want to hear it anyway. How do you feel about that?
Love it. Don't ever change, Bumgarner. Honestly, man. And I want to talk to I wish we can, I mean, we will. But I want to talk to one of the typical MLB relief pitcher that was at one point a starter. They converted him to a relief pitcher. And I also want to get their take on stuff like that, too. Like, does that piss you off when they make you a relief pitcher and you know you can be a starter? Like, can Chad Green be a starter, do you think?
Can Chad Green be a starter? I think they tried Chad Green as a starter, and it didn't work. And they tried Dylan Betances as a starter, and it didn't work.
I can't picture a scenario where Chad Green sucks as a starter. You know, like, at least the more experience he gets. That's just me, though.
I just don't think that. I think that it's so you're going to like the interview that I did with Alex Katz because I asked him this question and he agrees with you basically. Although by the same token, he also thinks that an opener strategy could work in Major League Baseball. But if it helps a team win, then do it. What's the big deal?
Well, here's the thing. Like, there's never going to be a way to prove that it works and it doesn't work because I mean I know you have the chart that you showed me from like 100 years of baseball how the most runs scored is in the first inning for a pitcher that's home, right? Is that what you said?
Yes.
All right.
Well, both teams score the most runs in the first inning, but the home team always scores the most.
Cool story, bro. All right, but
all right.
There's never going to be a way to truly see if a team wouldn't have done similarly. Maybe off of, you know, standard deviation of 2 or 3 games, but there's never going to be a real way to see because you're
whoa.
You're playing
standard deviation.
Season. You're playing a new season every year. And let's just use the Rays as an example. The Rays did exactly what I thought they did. They didn't make the playoffs. Period.
Yeah, but that's because they were in a division with the Yankees and the Red Sox.
We all played in the same season. We could make the argument that the competition was so poor that that's why the Rays won so many games, why the Yankees won so many games, why the Red Sox won so many games. You know.
But yeah, by the same token, you could also look at a season within the season. I'm doing some Inception type shit right here, so get ready.
Okay.
Just look at the Rays. Forget about everything else. Just look at the Rays. Before they used the opener, their pitching staff was one of the worst in baseball. As soon as they started using it, their numbers got increasingly better to the point where they started to win some games. So, I mean, it's a small sample size. It's not enough. We have to see it more. But it makes sense to me. If teams typically score the most runs in the first inning, then why not try something to try to combat that? And to me, that's what an opener is. And I'm not saying use it all the time. I'm not saying that if Madison Bumgarner's up there, and by the way, it would work for Madison Bumgarner because guess what, CT? Guess which inning he gives up the most runs in?
First inning.
Say that again?
First inning.
The first inning. So it would work for a guy like Madison Bumgarner. Maybe it wouldn't work for a guy like Chris Sale. Maybe it wouldn't work for a guy like Luis Severino. Fine. But if you have, CC Sabathia is about to pitch, right? Put an opener in for him. You know what I mean? Get rid of those hard guys in the first inning automatically, and then give him innings 2 to 7 or 2 to 8 or as long as he goes.
Listen, I really think you're gonna run it. You're gonna run into the same scenarios. Like if the Red Sox used the opener last year, I doubt they would have won more games or less.
No. But that's because the Red Sox didn't have a good bullpen. No offense, but it didn't.
All right,
the Yankees have a good bullpen, so it would work for the Yankees.
We didn't have a good bullpen, but we
you won the World Series, whatever.
We didn't. No, I wasn't gonna say that. All right, let's use the Yankees as an example. If the Yankees used an opener every day that CC Sabathia pitched, I doubt that you guys would have won more games than the Red Sox or vice versa. Like you guys still won 100 games. Like I don't think using the opener to cover up CC's first inning flaws or Mike Montgomery is his name? I forgot the guy's name. Jordan Montgomery. There
you go.
Yeah. Cover up his first inning flaws. I doubt that you guys would have broken the wins record or won more games than the Red Sox. It's just one of those seasons. 100 games were won.
Yeah, it's doubtful, but we don't know. Like all we know is that toward the end of the season, the Yankees were slacking, and who knows? Maybe an opener might have combated that a little bit. I haven't looked at it close enough.
I'm glad that you used the words "we don't know" because that's my point about all this. I don't
exactly no, but that's my point too. But the thing is that I'm willing to try something to help my team win more games. You're saying no.
No. I'm not saying
that's not right.
I'm not saying no. Like I watched it was exciting watching the Rays do good, but let's not act like the Rays weren't scoring runs either. Like they were clicking as a team. They were just one of those teams. They were like the A's of that one year when they won all that 20-game win streak and all that crap. Still didn't win the World Series. Fuck it. Like, sorry for.
And Blake Snell was a beast and all that stuff.
First F-bomb of the show, season 2. But like I was saying, we'll never know. I don't think we'll ever know. Yeah, like I'm
not unless we try.
Back to the original question. I'm happy Madison Bumgarner said some shit like that because sorry for the cursing again, but we need guys like that to show that like I'm putting my foot down. Like this is ridiculous. I'm Madison Bumgarner. You know what I'm saying?
Like I said it.
And I'm just gonna say this too. There's just something about starting pitchers throwing the first pitch of the game. And I know it's gonna sound corny, and we're all trying to win the game and stuff, but I have confidence that Madison Bumgarner is gonna get it done as good as a relief pitcher can get it done. Like we're taking away like a complete game. We already took away complete games. We're already taking away no hitters, and I know it's not as important as no hitter. If you're a team that's on track to win the World Series and go to the playoffs, don't waste your time with no hitters. You got a bigger purpose. But if you got Johan Santana and you're the Mets, let him pitch that no hitter, and they did, and they screwed him over in the end.
And they screwed him over for his entire career. That's the thing is that I understand that there's nostalgia involved, and you want to see the game that you saw when you were a kid. Like I want to see Roger Clemens throw 9 innings and still throw 100 miles an hour in the 9th inning and stuff. I get it. But if it helps my team win, I'm willing to sacrifice a complete game. I'm willing to sacrifice, a bunt, and a slide to first base. I'm willing to sacrifice all that because in the long run, it translates to wins. And the thing is that the Yankees are a good example of this, and we've talked about this before. They're a heavily analytical team, and it resulted in 100 wins last season. But they're so heavily analytical that when it came to the postseason, they couldn't make the changes to play against a team like the Boston Red Sox, and it kind of hurt them in the end. There has to be a mixture of both. I'm not saying you have to get married to one strategy and that's it. But I'm also saying that you have to try something. You can't just say, let's just keep playing the game the way, Sandy Koufax used to play or whatever, or
but
Shoeless Joe Jackson or something. I don't know.
I mean, if you talk about hurting the game, that's gonna hurt the game in the sense of like what is there to even like it's just one of those things that you can market. Like here's Kershaw about to make his 500th start of his career. He's only the 3rd Dodger to ever do that. What did I say?
No, nothing. We're just like, oh my God.
Here's
know why.
Clayton Kershaw now starting the game for the 500th time in the Dodgers jersey. Clayton Kershaw, the third pitcher, and look at the list, guys. Look at the list. Sandy Koufax and Clayton Kershaw number 2. You know, like it's stuff like that. And also, what
sounds better to you? Oh my God! Look, Chris Sale's about to make his 35th start for the Boston Red Sox. 20 of them have been complete games. Or does this sound better to you? Chris Sale pitched 29 games through 200 innings, and the Red Sox won the World Series. Which one would you take?
I would take both because.
Oh, get out of here! Come on, pick one.
I know I'm sticking to my nostalgia shit because that's baseball, man. Like that is the sport that we fell in love with. How do we expect people? Be honest. Do you really? I know you're talking about. I know you're gonna talk about what's gonna help us win more and everything. That I got it, whatever. But be honest. Are you in love with that method of using an opener and just scrapping the pitcher to like third inning or second inning, or do you love a guy like Madison Bumgarner going out there and be like, "Yo, I'm going 9 innings. No, that's it. Period."
I love that Madison Bumgarner has the attitude that he wants the ball and he wants to be the guy who starts and finishes the game. I'm sure that he has the same attitude when Bruce Bochy goes out there and takes the ball away from his hand. I'm sure he's pissed as hell. But there's a reason why Bruce Bochy has to go out there and take the ball from his hand sometimes. It's because
I know
maybe his stuff is getting worse as the game goes on. Maybe he's about to face a batter that, you know, hits him really well at an important part of the game. Sometimes you have to sacrifice the individual for the team. And that's how I see it.
I just think that how can we expect people to fall in love with the sport if we the people that love the sport are adding stuff like this, you know? I don't know. Use the opener. The opener. It had to come from the minor leagues because those guys don't go that deep into games anyways. That's where it had to come from, right? The opener.
Oh wow, that's offensive. I'm just kidding.
The minors. I don't like the. I don't care for the opener. I don't care for the opener. But if you got an ace on your staff, there should be a rule. There should actually be. Baseball should come up with an algorithm that says if the player generates this much revenue and he's this much of a superstar and he deserves this and that, then he should get paid a minimum salary of so-and-so. And if he's a starting pitcher, he can never be used in an opener situation.
Come on.
He can have as many appearances in the playoffs as he can. If he demands the ball, you have to give it to him. That's what baseball should do.
Come on. I can't get behind that. I'm sorry, man.
All right. Yankees won 100.
You're talking about me being extreme. You're talking about enforcing rules, telling teams what they have to do. Nah.
Could you imagine if a stat came out, and I'm pretty sure there's a stat because it's 2019.
There's a stat for everything, man.
All right, Tom Brady's worst quarter for his career. Could you imagine? Could you imagine there being a quarter where he excels at the least, that he does the worst, and then the Patriots drafting a guy or signing a guy that's the best first quarter guy ever, but he's shit for the next 3 quarters? Could you imagine them plugging him in there and letting Tom Brady take the ball under center in the second quarter, or maybe after the half?
No, but because
it's corny.
If it's something that would work, I would do it. If I could draft a quarterback that's amazing quarters 1 to 3, and then plug in Eli Manning in the 4th inning because he's always a clutch quarterback, I would do it.
All right, well, let's dial it back. And I know you probably didn't want to spend this much time on the thing. You just said find a quarterback that's amazing 1 through 3. That's almost the whole game. So what are we talking about? A starter in baseball. We're talking about a starter. And that's exactly what's going to happen. You're going to find relief pitchers that can go 5 innings, which is what starting pitchers are doing now. But I'm just saying, it would work. Analytically, it would work. You find a guy that's better than Tom Brady in the first quarter. First 10 minutes of the game. Find a guy that's more analytically he's analytically better than Tom Brady in the first quarter of a game, and sign him, and then put him in the first quarter and let Tom Brady close the game out. I mean, that's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about.
I don't like the Patriots. God, man.
Sorry, man.
You're always getting so nasty.
We're getting nasty.
Yo, I feel like I sound like, what's that? There's isn't there a cat that has like a weird, like a raspy voice and a laugh? I feel like I sound like that cat. I don't even know who it is, but.
You mean like a cartoon character, or like just like a regular alley cat?
No, I don't believe that there's a regular alley cat that has a raspy voice. I'm talking about like a cartoon character. But I feel
I
like
don't know.
that guy. If there
I
is
was
one,
gonna say is ahead of time. My sound might be a little bit distorted. I got pretty close to the mic right there. I wasn't checking my levels.
can I ask you a personal question, CT?
Personal.
How's your battery doing?
7%. Shit is not even.
Nice.
It's draining
Nice.
battery as we speak.
I have another question. I'm leaving this all in on the show, by the way. If you listen to the podcast, there's gonna be minor editing, but you're gonna hear this in there too.
Yeah.
Something I'm noticing about Facebook Live. This is the first time I'm using it, like for this extended amount of time. The comments. Do you see the comments on your phone?
Mm-hmm.
Can I get rid of them? They're annoying me.
Swipe left. Swipe to the right.
I'm scared. What if like everything goes away?
No.
Oh my God, CT. Wait, can you hear me?
Yeah, and I noticed now that I'm on the bottom half of the screen, so you've probably been not seeing me this whole time.
No, I have been. You've been at the top half. I could see you, but the comments are blocking me. So for all I know, I have spillage or something. You know what I mean?
Nice.
All right, CT. I think that just about covers everything we wanted to talk about. Is there something else you want to discuss before we depart?
Can you believe how much money John Wall is gonna get in the next 4 years?
How much? He's gonna get like $40 million a year, right?
Look at this: 2019, 37.8. Next year, 40.8. Next year, 43.8. Next year, 46.8.
This is what pisses me off too. Compare John Wall to Bryce Harper or Manny Machado. Like if you could make a comparison. Like I know that John Wall he's the best player in he plays for the Wizards, right?
Talent wise, I would say he is the best player, but he's fallen off. I think because he's
past his prime, man.
Yeah. So if I had to compare John Wall to another player, honestly, Cespedes.
So and you know what? They're both overpaid. So good for you.
Yeah, that's another thing.
You know what I'm saying?
Like Cespedes got paid, man.
Right. That's because you know why? Do you know why, CT? Because it's the New York Mets. That's why.
Yeah, if it had to be, it's the Mets.
I hate the Red Sox, but for some reason the New York Mets are like that little brother or that little cousin that you just want to like, you know what I mean? Like
yeah, like when I see like a fellow Yankee fan that's like a friend of mine, I'll just kind of look at it like, all right, like get ready for another season of like some great memories, pal. But when I see like a Met
you look at a Met fan,
when I see a Met fan, I got like a bad taste in my mouth. I don't know what it is.
I just go like this. I just go.
Yeah, like I kind of want to, pat him in the back. Like it's gonna get better. But how many times do they have to mess up before
Yo, that organization and Brody Van Wagenen, whatever that, even the GMs they hire have funny names. He's there's a culture change, but by the same token, they're still playing that cheap game. You know what I mean? Like yes, they went out, they re-signed Juris Familia and all that stuff, but Craig Kimbrell was available. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right? You
want to make your organization relevant, get the best players on the team. You could use Bryce Harper. You could use Manny Machado. And you're a New York team. You have the money.
And baseball is doing the job for you by lowballing these guys, so you wouldn't have to pay them as much if you're outbidding the Yankees. Like just make them the offer they can't refuse. They're gonna play New York and sell them the story that they can be the beginning of the Mets dynasty or something. I don't know. I don't know.
Manny Machado, as soon as that report came out that the Chicago White Sox offered him, I think it was like 8 years at 175 or something like that.
Yeah.
Or 7 years. I can't remember what it was. That's $25 million a year. If I were the Mets, I would have said to Manny Machado, listen, I'll give you the same, but for 30, and you're going to be playing for your favorite player, Alex Rodriguez's favorite team, because Alex Rodriguez grew up being a Met fan. He says it nonstop. Alex Rodriguez was a Mets fan. You could, sell that shit. Play in New York. You could wear number 13. All of that. Bring a World Series to the Mets. You'll be a hero forever. Yo, and they need a third baseman. They need a shortstop. He could play whatever position he wants. You know what I mean?
I can't believe everyone played for the Yankees. Wow.
I can. It's amazing.
The historic franchise with probably like the biggest late 90s, early 2000s player. 2 MVPs.
I love A-Rod.
Me too.
All right, let's sign off here, CT. So here's what else you need to know in the world of baseball. So first of all, Major League Baseball and the Major League Baseball Association are engaging in discussions. That's good news. Things that are on the table: a universal DH, although Manfred dropped the bomb on us and said that that's not going to happen until at least 2022. A pitch clock was proposed. Minimum 3 batters per relief pitcher. I kind of like that rule. I wish we could talk about that a little bit, but we'll save that for next time. And I think that was it. Do you remember anything else that they proposed? I think that was it.
Yeah, I think that was it.
Okay, the other thing you need to know, players have officially reported to spring training. Pitchers and catchers are underway, but there's video surfacing. It looks like everybody's reporting. It looks like everybody can't wait for baseball. And the last big story that I can think of is that Frank Robinson passed away last week. He was a Rookie of the Year, an MVP, World Series champion, and the first African-American manager in both leagues. So rest in peace to Frank Robinson. Ready for the sign-off?
Yeah.
Welcome to the Show is brought to you by Audible. Go to audibletrial.com/welcome to the show to get a free audiobook download and a 30-day free trial. That's audibletrial.com/welcome to the show. Also, find exclusive deals just for our listeners by going to wttspod.com/save. That's wttspod.com/save. Our music is by VM Varga. You might have noticed the new tracks today. VM Varga is responsible for that. I'll link up his SoundCloud account so you can check it out. The artwork, our logo, is by Luigi Gomez, brother of the one and only CT, a.k.a. L.A., a.k.a. Hollywood, a.k.a. Darkness.
That is I.
That is you. I don't know what else I say in the sign-offs, but I think I'm going to say CT.
Peace out.
Peace.